name is George Lucas. I created Star Wars and the Clone Wars and the prequels, and they actually invited me back to be on one of these things. I only agreed to do it because I heard that E3 2021 was developed entirely by computers, and it was very exciting for me. So I had to come say hello to everybody and promote Jar Jar and Super Smash Brothers, because the thing is, people would bemoan Jar Jar being included in Smash Brothers, but then they'd sit there and say to themselves, "Huh, well, at least it's not a little bloody Fire Emblem character."
God damn it, George! Who said you could come back in here? Get out of here! That was a one-time deal. Damn it!
Just get out of here, you stupid dumb animal!
I'm gonna go sit in my race car bed now and play with my action figures and tell Bob Iger to suck my nut.
Hello, people of the internet. Yes, we're back
with George Lucas in hand,
and tons of computer references, and unfortunately, still no fridge magnets.
I'll have Kazuya throw them off a cliff.
So, yes, I am your host, Andres Perez, aka Kaj Noir, here with another video game discussion. Here with me are my friends from both the Venom 2 trailer discussion vid, as well as the Sonic 30th Anniversary podcast. Give it up for a writer and director, Mr. Ace Marrok.
Ace Marrok, and
Sorry.
yeah, it's good to be back. You keep forgetting this every single time.
How about you have a real last name, damn it?
Fuck you, I ain't using that shit. There's not enough money for that shit.
And last but certainly more pronounceable, it is the one and only sprite artist himself, Mr. Random.
I must confess, I was the second gunman on the grassy knoll. With a shit Jim Carrey impression.
Ah. So, we are here to be talking about the latest E3 conference, where we talk about our favorite announcements from this year's Electronic Entertainment Expo, which is mostly going to be, just to let everyone know, this is going to be mostly a Nintendo discussion, since that they had the most interesting announcements and pieces of news that catered more towards our own taste in video games. But we will bring up other announcements if they are worth our time. So the first thing I want to ask for with you guys, since this is the very first time I believe I've ever talked about E3 on the channel, and that is, what has been your guys' history of E3 and your thoughts on the conference as it has continued to evolve or devolve, depending on your opinion, throughout the years. Random, given how E3 sort of led to the creation of your, currently I believe your longest running webcomic, Winnibobble, how about you go first?
Well, just to get one joke out of the way, because Sony had no press conference this year, let's just summarize their entire offering real quick. Right. Yeah, I mean, E3 is one of those things where, like, back in the day, it was all about the games, here are the games that are coming out. It was kind of exciting. It got people engaged. Where recently, all right, for the record, this is just my own personal view. Take it for what you will. But essentially, the problem with E3 now is it's become about everything except the games, if that makes sense to you.
Yeah.
I mean, like Ubisoft's conference. Go on.
I was just gonna say, as like a lot of consoles have sort of attempted to become all-in-one entertainment devices, especially in the case of the PlayStations, the Xboxes, they try to be sort of like all-in-one entertainment when it comes to like sports, television, streaming, YouTube, internet, and video games. So they tried to like encompass all of that in past E3 presentations. Meanwhile, Nintendo, thankfully, has always seemed to have been focused mostly on games, because that is primarily what they are, a video game company, as opposed to entertainment companies like Microsoft and Sony.
Mm. Well, yeah, like, the problem with it is, like, I'm just going to just summarize my thoughts of every press conference throughout the years. I mean, I'm not referring to this year's offering, but this has been, like, the last several E3s in general. Like Ubisoft will come out on stage and go, "Let us virtue signal about how great and wonderful and inclusive we are, even though we hire mostly white employees. But look how wonderful and lovely we are, even though we have shitty business practices. But aren't we lovely and wonderful? And we support the Derek, what's the current thing? Oh, the thing that's currently trending. We support that. We're so loving and caring and wonderful." Even though what we're going to do is make a bunch, like 17 different sandbox games and a new Assassin's Creed. But aren't we lovely and you get the idea. Sony essentially come out on stage and go, "So anything that Microsoft just announced, we're going to do that, but better." Then Microsoft come out on stage and go, "So anything that Sony just announced, we're going to do that, but better." Oh, and Halo will be there at some point. And Nintendo just come out on stage and go, "Here's some games."
Whoa!
I like the fact the Nintendo press conference was like 38 minutes long, and it's just, "Here's games."
Yeah, that is true.
No men coming out in suits going, we would like to announce that we're going to make an announcement about an announcement.
About an announcement about an announcement.
Have you
So
noticed
that covers my thoughts on covers my thoughts on Square Enix. But
Have you noticed that, like, when it comes to like the guys that come out on presentations, is either like a celebrity or just some dude in a blazer and jeans?
Fucking
Yeah, I've noticed that's the big
God.
thing. As someone who likes denim, I feel insulted every single time those guys come out.
It's probably a bit in poor taste to make this joke due to the passing of the actor. May he rest in peace. But you remember the E3 presentations? Doesn't that one guy look like Robbie Rotten from Lazy Town?
I don't know. I did not know he was involved in an E3 presentation.
Well, no. One of E3's like chief spokespersons. He kind of looks like Robbie Rotten from Lazy Town.
Oh, really?
Like if I find a
don't
picture of
remember
this
him.
guy, you won't be
sure.
able to unsee it.
Okay.
Give me a minute. I'll see if I can find it.
I just remember Mr. Caffeine. You remember him as like, "Let's go back in time." Doodaloo, 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 doodaloo.
Where is it?
Or if you
What is
remember,
it?
like the time when I think it was like 2 years prior, the very last E3 before everything went to shit with the pandemic, where you had Keanu Reeves come up on stage and had the whole "You're breathtaking, you're breathtaking," and then it's like, "Check
here he is, I
this
found him.
out." All right, let's see what this guy looks
It's
like.
it's like this guy called Andrew Wilson. I'm convinced he kind of looks like Robbie Rotten from Lazy Town.
Let's see here.
Okay,
Holy shit!
I can kind of see that, and I'll put it up on screen for everybody.
He kind of does. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, let's face it. If anyone knows how to be a villain number one, it's clearly EA.
Ooh.
Oh.
Any other further thoughts on the ghosts of E3's past?
Well, obviously, we might as well address the elephant in the room real quick. I mean, last year there wasn't an E3 press conference due to the ongoing coronavirus pandemic. And to be fair, it makes perfect sense to, slam the brakes on and not have anything. That's perfectly fine. And then this year is the all digital event, okay, all right, fine. But it's just, I mean, it was actually, did anyone even notice that there wasn't an E3 last year?
I guess not. I mean, this is something I've been hearing for a while now from within the gaming community, where there's been sort of like an overall agreement that E3 has sort of lost its relevancy, especially as more and more big game developers started just making their announcements within these sort of online announcements. I believe Nintendo was the first one to sort of abandon the whole "let's put on a show in front of a big stage for everybody." On a big stage for everybody, and instead just like do things the easy and more controlled manner. And at that point, go ahead.
I mean, I have to, tip my hat to Nintendo. It's actually a very effective model that I can't help but notice that everyone seems to have adopted now. Even Sega did it with their Sonic presentation last
right?
Kinda.
To me, it makes more sense because it's kind of the main thing I've always hated about E3 and why I would watch, because back when I used to do written summaries for them, spoiler alert, I'm not doing one this year, it was because I would refuse to watch them live because I would like to just skip through all the men coming out, the men in suits who come out and go, and now we're going to talk about tax specs. Oh, please, God, no. And it's just, can we just talk about the announcements? It's just like you just skim through all this shit. Whereas now it's just, here's some games.
Mm-hmm.
Or in Capcom's case, here's a whole bunch of nothing.
You lose. Good day, sir.
And I'll tell you what, I mean, all I asked for Capcom's present, I mean, I heard they're having a presentation. I thought, oh, here it is, folks. Here it is. It's going to be the long-awaited Code Veronica remake and, God forbid, Mega Man X9. And I walked away from it feeling...
disappointed!
Yep. I mean, the fact that
An announcement of an announcement that DLC for RE8 is coming out. How very Square Enix of you.
I mean, the fact that nobody is talking about Capcom during this time is evident of how much of a dud that was.
I walked away from that presentation quoting Vegeta from Team 4-Star. Why are you even here?
Yeah.
It's probably no wonder that Sega did not have a presentation this year.
Oh yeah, I mean, they barely had anything for Sonic Central. What makes you think they're gonna have a full presentation on anything else that wasn't Sonic?
Well, to be fair, the assumption was maybe they'd show this stuff off at E3, a little tease to begin with, and then they showed the goods. But it's like, really? That was it?
Almost nobody had any goods to show for this whole event.
Well, unless you want to consider Super Monkey Ball as part of that, since that's technically originally started out as a Sega brand. So,
I was going to mention that like a lot of this stuff seems to be either repackages or like remakes or like smaller, less so fewer AAA productions. In fact, like the only big AAA production I think that comes to mind that was like revealed at E3 was like Square Enix's Guardians of the Galaxy game. And
well, that's largely because the pandemic has kind of made it difficult for a lot of people to work on stuff.
Yeah,
so I mean, don't be surprised. Don't be surprised if we get nothing but like remasters and digital releases of old games between now and 2029.
Oh yeah. I'm not saying that.
I'm joking on that release date.
I'm not like I totally understand the circumstances behind the lack of full original large tentpole game projects that are being announced or coming out. I understand that as a result of the pandemic, every single project that was in development during 2020 was pretty much, they had to like slam the brakes on them, and essentially a lot of companies had to learn how to work from home essentially and maintain social distancing. And I know that when it comes to Japan, working from home was a brand new, totally foreign concept to them. So like for companies like Nintendo or Sony, well, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like most of the Sony stuff happens in America, I think.
Mostly, yeah. Mostly, especially since a lot of the video games that they come out are specifically developed in America. So it's not surprising that some of them get released. Some of the announcements come here in the USA first. I mean, you take a look at one of the announcements they did for, I believe this was about last year, for the new Ratchet and Clank game that came out recently.
Okay, I just brought that up because for a company like Nintendo, I'm sure they had to take a good long while for them to get used to the idea of working from home, and that is exactly what Sakurai himself, Masahiro Sakurai, said when he was talking about how they were going to all work on all the future DLC for Smash Bros. Ultimate from home. And so everything that came out in 2020 was essentially all whatever was finished back in 2019. And now what we got in 2021 are like the few scraps of whatever they were working on that they managed to finish the prior year. So I feel like this year, as well as going into next year, we're still going to have that lull of games as the gaming industry, and hell, the entire entertainment industry landscape as a whole is still trying to recover and trying to see what they can do as they attempt to make heads or tails of this unprecedented situation that nobody could have prepared for. So that definitely explains why so many of these presentations have so little to offer, and what little they did offer is the stuff that we will be talking about soon. But anyways,
not to make a tasteless joke or anything, but you can imagine at Nintendo HQ they're going, well, the bad news is none of our employees are here because they're all at home due to the pandemic. The good news is we don't have to work on Metroid Prime 4.
It's the perfect excuse.
The perfect reasoning not to make a game that people want to like. and play.
I'm not bitter. I'm sure they're working very hard on that game. But all I'm saying is that Legends 3 is now going, oh boy, some company.
You're like, hey man, we're just trying really hard, all right?
Hey man, we're doing the best we can, man.
Why are you gonna be so mean,
Well, maybe you should work a bit harder. But maybe you should work harder with some better computers. I have an expert degree.
Damn it, George! I said get the fuck out of here.
Oh, please don't. No, I finally have random's fridge magnets. Get the fuck out, George. Oh.
And so, Ace, what are your general thoughts on E3?
To be honest, not much, honestly. E3 has never been something that I've really grown a huge attachment for
Why
over
the
the years.
fuck are you here? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, well, I know that's a question I
Good
ask
night,
myself. But well, the thing is with E3 for me, it's always been. I don't think I have really the same attachment as I do with it, say, like Comic-Con, where something like that, I would definitely be interested in like going there or hearing about it. With E3, it's more of an area where I just think of it, okay, this is the main area where a lot of the big video game announcements will come. And whichever games that I want to play, I'll buy them and check them out. And that's really it for me when it comes to E3. I don't have as big of an attachment towards it as, say, Random here. But it's still something that I do kind of look forward, because I always think, all right, what new games are we going to get this year that I'm interested in playing?
All right, cool. I guess for me personally, I remember first learning about E3 through back in the like early to mid 2000s. It was probably around like 2005, 2006. Actually, no, I believe it was 2005 where they showed off the Wii for the very first time. And this was when a lot of my friends who were really into video games back in high school middle school, where everyone's like, "Oh, dude, have you heard about this new game? They're going to call it this new Nintendo console. It's called the Nintendo Revolution. They're going to talk about this thing called E3." I was like, "What is E3?" And that's like around this time I was still getting all of my news from.
Sorry, you got me thinking about the Wii, and that's all I could think.
Yeah, I was about to make the same joke, honestly.
Yeah, it had some titles, you know. I've just got some nostalgia for it.
It was still a good computer.
Technically, no, given that it was essentially a souped-up GameCube. So, this is back in the day where I started getting all my E3 news from was it GameStop? No, GameSpot. GameSpot. I always got the two names confused.
That's a very different thing.
Yes.
Or Game Champ, if anyone remembers that company.
I don't remember that at all. I remember game trailers. They used to have the presentations live through there.
Game trailers. That's a joke now.
Do you guys? I'm sure maybe Ace is more familiar with this than Random, but are either of you remember a video game centric TV channel called G4?
Yes,
okay.
I remember G4.
Yeah.
So G4 actually also used to televise the live presentations of E3. So for a while, I used to have G4. My family used to have DirecTV satellite television service, and so G4 was part of the package, and so I was able to check out those E3 presentations, and it always felt like Christmas to me, like Christmas, literally like Christmas in July, where it's like just game announcement after game announcement. You get to learn like firsthand all the cool shit that's going to come out, all the latest consoles, and like the Wii was just barely announced, and like that original trailer like blew my fucking mind, and so like as like a casual video game player during like my high school years, I always was like fascinated with like what else was being announced, because it's kind of fun. I feel like E3 is one of those things we kind of take for granted, because at the end of the day, it's a glorified press conference simply made for game companies to appeal to their investors, saying, here are the profits we made in the previous fiscal year, and here's what we got coming up for the future. Like any other boring, usually like boring typical press conference. Not so much a press conference, but like, essentially sort of like a conference involving presentations and companies. No. This isn't a convention per se. Well, I guess a convention in the traditional sense, not like geeky, that sort of whole Comic-Con convention, but rather like a business convention.
True, I can see that.
And yet, when it comes to
look at these stock reports, look at these graphs, look
exactly,
at all this,
yes,
recently. But the chart says,
yeah, all of that.
The chart says
that is typical of how the majority of these business press conferences happen. However, when it comes to video games, they go fucking bonanza on everybody with lights and flashiness and, it's a lot of spectacle, a whole lot of, like, stuff thrown at your face. This is something that, like, the first time ever where I feel like a press conference had, like, decided to appeal to everybody, not just dudes in business suits. So, I always found that to be rather unique and special within this video game community. But I do agree that as technology has improved, as like the move towards streaming pre-recorded presentations becomes much more of a cheaper, feasible, more easy to execute offering or alternative, I do see that the idea of a large, overblown press conference is kind of outdated in a way. But in a way, I still kind of like how we, at the very least, we at least reserve a certain portion of our summer solely for big game announcements. I just wish that, obviously we didn't have that many announcements to go into. But with that said, let's actually talk about the stuff that interested us the most. So anybody want to bring something to the table first?
I guess we'll go to probably the only Nintendo announcement. Okay, one of the two Nintendo announcements that I legit cared for was Metroid Dread.
Ah, yes, that was the one that really stole the show for Nintendo.
Yeah, because, we all know, like, for the past couple years, Metroid has been sort of a non-existent franchise for Nintendo's, like, ever since Other M, came out.
When did Samus Returns come out on 3DS?
Ooh, I think
I want to say 2017.
Yeah, I want to say 2017 as well.
Let's see, looking this up right now.
If I could just add something to Ace just said there about Metroid, because of what he said, I instantly thought of a moment from Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog that perfectly sums up Nintendo's relationship with that series.
What's up?
I mean, for those who are familiar with the show, will get exactly what I'm going with this. So just imagine Nintendo saying to like Metroid, F-Zero, and Earthbound, they go, "I'm about to make you all unnecessary." Oh, did you hear that? Unnecessary. Yeah, right. We got promoted from useless.
Oh, I love that joke.
It's so sad but true.
It really is.
I do the voices, but my throat is kind of shit right now because I do an amazing Scratch and Grounder impression.
I thought you had him.
No, I'm not saying penis. Oh shit, I just said it.
So Metroid Dread. It's I guess for those who didn't know, Metroid Dread is essentially their what they first initially announced it as Metroid 5, and it's like what they claim to be the first 2D Metroid game in like what they say like 15 or 16 years. I guess since like Metroid Fusion.
Yeah, Metroid Fusion. It has been a long time since a 2D Metroid game was a thing. Unless you count the hybrids.
Fun fact that Metroid Dread was a game that was allegedly in development for like the GBA/DS, but then it kind of went It went AWOL for a while. Then Nintendo went, "Oh yeah, we have this thing, haven't we?" Because when you guys said I was at work at the time, when you guys said to me Metroid Dread, I was like, "The fuck?" What?
Oh, so you were
I
aware?
actually had to stop what I was doing and just watch this video, and I was like, "Well, holy shit!"
Nani?
Nani?
So you were aware of the name of Metroid Dread before?
Yeah. Because truth be told, I had to watch the conference last night because I wasn't working at the time, and I just said to myself, "Oh yeah, they'll probably announce Crash Bandicoot for Smash." I turned my phone off, didn't think much about it. Then I got an alert, checked my phone, and suddenly everyone's screaming, "Kazuya and Smash, Metroid Dread!" I had to stop what I was doing and just had to go.
That was me.
I have to stop what I'm doing and watch this video. And I'll let you finish your thoughts, and I'll jump on Metroid Dread myself.
All right. But yeah, as a fan, as when it comes to Nintendo, there aren't many franchises that I now look back on and try to replay. But Metroid has always been one of those exceptions because I've always been, I guess it's just because I'm a huge fan of sci-fi and horror. I've always loved the lore of the Metroid universe, especially with the Prime games. And
Oh, fuck yeah.
yeah, and hearing that there was a new Metroid game, I got curious. I was a little disappointed that, as I think to mimic Random's thoughts here, it wasn't Prime. It wasn't Prime 4, or no, Prime 5, I should say.
No,
And
4.
Why you cut?
Oh, no,
Why
it
you
is
cut
4.
me deep? Why you cut me deep?
Well, because it's the truth. That's why. But when it comes to the idea of a new 2D Metroid game, I'm curious. I'm genuinely curious of where this is go because I mean, a lot of the best games from the Metroid series were 2D. I mean, of course, Super Metroid, the original Metroid game, even if it's dated in some areas. But yeah,
It's got Zero Mission though.
yeah. There's Zero Mission. There's Fusion. Both great games in their own.
Fusion's my favorite.
Yeah, and yeah, I was very excited about knowing that, hey, we got a new Metroid game. You know, why not? Again, it's not Prime, but fuck it, I'll take it. It looks very nice. It looks like a Metroid game, feels like a Metroid game.
It tastes
Even though
like
I'm
a
a little-
Metroid game.
It tastes like a
It
Metroid
smells
game.
like a Metroid
It smells like it. It rubs like a Metroid game.
It feels like
And it turns out it's Splatoon.
Ah, damn it.
Reese currently folks, Reese in the background just drooling over what I've been saying.
He's gonna pin Samus down and hit her hard, and that robot did in the trailer.
Oh no.
What was that thing?
Pull your way out of this one, bitch.
What was that thing that Jobby the Hong said? Ace, like, it feels good, it tastes good.
Put it in my ass. Although the robot
That's why they
thing,
filed the restraining order.
oh god! But it's funny you mentioned the robot thing because that's the only bit of the trailer that I was a bit iffy on because I don't know. It just felt a little the robot aspect of it felt a little too, I guess, Portal-esque for it to feel like Metroid. But again, we'll see how the story and the gameplay goes for it.
Yeah, I suppose if you're going to make a game that's known for its atmosphere and ambiance and horror, that I probably would have liked a more scarier looking robot.
Yeah, or at least something more alien-esque or cyborg-esque.
Could be a work in progress, though.
That's true. The game itself did look a little bit on the lower budgeted side. Like, it looks nice. But did any of you feel like it looked a little too clean and plastic looking? Like everything felt very shiny to it with like few textures?
Yeah, that's my one issue. That's probably my biggest issue visually looking at is that it feels too, I guess neon would be the word I'd use for it. It felt too flashy.
For me, it looked more like a beta build of the game where it's like, they feel like the graphics were unfinished. So they had like these temporary simplistic textures, in like placeholder textures involved. Meanwhile, everything was like shiny and bright and like fluorescent.
Yeah, I can see that.
That's why I said it could just be like, this is like they usually have those thing that shows up in the bottom of the text that says like, you know, currently in development, not final footage or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. By the way, I gotta show these two memes from Metroid Dread. One, both of you guys are gonna know this. The other one, you guys are only gonna get the reference if you know classic SpongeBob.
Well, you already know I'm gonna. Oh, that's perfect! Robot! Oh my gosh!
You have to put those on the screen so everyone gets the context.
Yes, I will.
Wait. Oh, does I know how Samus is gonna beat the robot? They must poop on the robot.
What?
So that's another SpongeBob reference, if you remember that.
I don't remember that one. I just remember
that was from the actual episode.
No, that was from the one where they were like smashing Mr. Krabs' toaster. It's like and his
that's
register.
The robot episode.
I don't remember that line at all.
Oh my god! And you're a classic SpongeBob fan. You have no excuse.
And there's just me in the corner going, I have no fucking clue what they're talking about.
You call it Pinhead.
I'm sorry, if it hasn't got Rick Mail Rage and Edmonds in it, I don't give a shit.
Meow, hoy, meow, meow, meow,
Anyways. So, Random, what are your thoughts on Metroid Dread?
So, I mean, as I mentioned earlier, Metroid Fusion is my favorite game, and now a lot of people are going to say that's a bit strange. Everyone's favorite game is Super Metroid. It's for a very specific reason, and it's something that I mean, it's kind of embarrassing to say this out loud, but I don't care. I actually respect Metroid Fusion for doing one thing. It was the first 2D pixelated game I had nightmares about.
Ooh, okay.
And that's impressive. Like, I mean, I think everyone knows where I'm going with this. Like, those fucking footsteps. The fucking SAX, just hearing those footsteps. Like, I can hear it now, and it's just like, it's kind of why I love Mr. X from the Resident Evil 2 remake so much. Like, SAX and Mr. X is the perfect pairing, in my opinion, because they're like sometimes a villain doesn't need to have a quirky bit of dialogue or a sassy one-liner, or in RE8's case, reduced to Saturday morning cartoon characters. All they need is their footsteps to make you shit yourself. And Metroid Fusion, it's just those moments the music stops and you just hear. I was like, oh fuck.
Yeah, or to bring up another Metroid Fusion enemy, how about the screams from Ridley?
Oh god!
That haunts me to this day when I hear that scream on the Game Boy.
I'm gonna ruin it for you. It sounds like a Karen when she finds out her coupon's out of it. But yeah, I mean, it was announced. I mean, I alluded to it, but it was announced that we're making a Metroid Dread, which is going to be a sequel to Metroid Fusion. I thought, holy shit, we're actually going to go forward with a storyline. Steady the fuck on, Nintendo. Sit down before you hurt yourself. And then suddenly, like, all talk of Dread just stopped. There was no mention of it, and then
right.
So I thought, oh, that's a shame, because I kind of like the intrigue that even though the galaxy never learns its fucking lesson, Samus has essentially exterminated the entire Metroid species, and now the X parasite. I like this idea that she was going to be hunted down as a criminal, and then Nintendo do nothing with it. And I think I don't know if this game is going to continue that story thread, but it does. I like the idea that these robots are like built by the Galactic Federation, and they're hunting her down for her war crimes. See, that is the Metroid Dread I want to play. And it turns out, it's just an alien robot race. I bet if it does that, then I'd be like, oh okay. But I like the idea that, essentially, she's basically become the villain in her own story. Kind of everything that Halo 5 tried to do. You know what I mean? It's just to be fair, I did sort of like Samus Returns for the 3DS, but not that much. But if they could just take everything that was wrong with that game and make it like more like Fusion, then I'm fucking on board with this. I want to see Prime 4. I mean, seriously, Nintendo, why are you fucking making me wait for this shit? But I get why it's been delayed, because they wanted to rebuild it. But hey, I'll take a Metroid Dread this year over Prime 4. It's good stuff. It'll be a way to pass the time, as it were.
It's a good I think it's a good it's an appetizer to the main course would probably be a good way to say it. Is that you got this?
I think the joke I made on Facebook was, I said to Nintendo, I go, how dare you fucking cancel Metroid Prime 4? And they go, oh, would Metroid 5 tie you over? I pause and just look at them and say, why do you do this to me?
Yeah, I know that pain, but at least it's something.
Like Homer in The Simpsons, don't make me choose.
Don't make me choose.
Yeah, I guess for me personally, Metroid was one of those franchises I was always aware of because of Super Smash Brothers. I unfortunately never got the chance to play a lot of them beyond, I think, Metroid Prime 2, a little bit of Metroid Prime 2, and Metroid Prime Hunters on the DS. Just because most of my
or carpal tunnel syndrome, as they called it.
I did play a lot of games back in the day, but Metroid was always one of those franchises that I always respected and appreciated, and I thought looked really cool, but I just never had the time to get into. So I'm actually really excited, because nowadays, as an adult working, a full-time job out of college, in the years since I graduated college, I've been able to enjoy a lot of franchises that I never had time to previously, such as like Monster Hunter or Legend of Zelda, big franchises. And it's all thanks to the Switch, I think. The Switch really got me back into video games more so than for the first time. Ever since the Switch came out, I've been getting into video games more than I have since my high school days, and so I'm really hoping to try out Metroid Dread when it eventually comes out. And
I think that's October, isn't it?
What's that?
Yeah, October 8th.
I think it's in October this year, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, you know what? Perfect time, given that the series has always had sort of its roots in horror, it being sort of like taking a lot of cues from Ridley Scott's Alien series.
I could just imagine all of us in October when the Metroid Dread game comes out during October. We're just gonna be like, "This is Halloween! This is Halloween!" while we're playing and running for our lives.
And then suddenly, like, they'll pull a fast one, and SAX is back. I hear those footsteps, and I get Vietnam flashbacks. Like, I don't know what the meme is, but if you've seen that joke where like the cat sort of like its head tilts back, the eyes narrow, and you hear that tune go, "Whoa!"
Yep.
Oh no, I got the perfect. I know the perfect scenario, Random. That's going to happen. You're going to hear those steps, and eventually you're going to hear.
God.
I can think. In my case though, is if I hear Ridley screams, I'm gonna be like, "Nope, nope, 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 nope,
Oh no!
nope."
I gotta say, I love that bit in the trailer when she fires the missile. It does nothing. I love it. It's under the freeze frame, and you hear a voiceover go, "It was at that moment she knew she was fucked."
No. It's like it was at that moment she knew she fucked up.
It's like, oh, like eat missile does nothing. Oh no!
The missiles, they do nothing.
They need missiles. They do nothing.
I'd kill all the Metroids. Do it now. Get to the chopper.
It is now time for the top 10 most muscular characters in Metroid.
Okay.
Welcome to WatchMojo.com. I talk about the muscles and my gun of Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh god, Random. If you haven't seen that video, if you haven't seen that DBZ video, we gotta share it with you after this.
Oh yes.
Okay.
Yeah, see, the best thing is I wanted to use Arnold in Star Wars. Shut up, do it
George,
now.
get out of here!
Shut up, you girly man! Get out of here! You prefer your muscles made out of CG instead of actual pumping iron.
I don't like girls, they're smelly.
All right, George, you have to leave now. Seriously.
They're rough and coarse and they get everywhere. I have no idea what that means.
Oh fuck! I have to do it now. I do not like sand. It is coarse and rough and irritating, and it gets everywhere. Do it now.
Oh god. Okay. As to quote Veron the Unbelievable, but again, it's nothing but sand.
All right. So, anything else to
It's over, George. I have the high ground.
Don't underestimate my computers.
Don't try it. Get sliced in half.
You are the chosen one. You were meant to save Star Wars, not destroy it.
No.
You were supposed to save. You were supposed to save Star Wars, not sell it to Disney.
Damn it! You took my joke now. All right.
You were my brother George, and I loved you.
All right. So, anything to say about Metroid Dread before we move on?
Easily, I think probably the game that I'm interested in the most. Other than a certain other Nintendo series that we'll get to.
All right, and Random?
I'm calling it right now. There will be a secret lab in the game that is farming Metroids.
That would be genius.
Well, it was happening in like the last 3 Metroid games. It's like, but in all seriousness, though, I am just happy that we're getting another Metroid. It's not the one I want, but at this point, it's just like I'll just take anything at this point. As long as it's not another fucking.
It's not the game we deserve, but the one that we need.
As long as it's not another one of those weird. What was that one called that everyone hated that came out for the 3DS?
Federation Force.
That's the one. As long as it's not another one of those, I'll be all right.
Or another other M.
Oh, don't. Just
So
no. But they turned Samus into it made Samus about as boring as a GPS. Sounded like one too.
Let's see. So the next biggest announcement that came out of Nintendo Direct was, right out of the gate, they announced who the next Smash Brothers DLC character was, and it feels like the one prior to this one was it Sephiroth?
Yeah.
No, it was before it was the girl from Xenogears, wasn't it?
Oh right,
Sephiroth was before that.
Right. It was Sephiroth, then the 2 Xenogears.
I'm offended. Yeah, I don't. I mean, I have no opinion of. I know a lot of people like to scream and moan about, oh, they've announced this. I mean, all I'm going to say about the fact I don't even call them by name shows you I have no idea who these people are. Therefore, I feel nothing.
Right, right. I'll get into my opinions on that once I talk about this. But yeah, so it seemed like for the third time in a row, a new Smash Brothers character came out that no one was expecting at all, but it ended up making a lot of sense in the long run. Like first we had Sephiroth, like nobody predicted Sephiroth, yet it made sense because Cloud was in the game, and a lot of characters have both the hero and the villain of their respective series in the game. So there you go. Then the
Except for Sonic.
That is true, yeah. We don't have Sonic yet. We got Cloud's own rival before Sonic, so make that what you will. We ended up with the Xenogear girls, the Xenoblade 2 characters, which made sense because he had the main character from Xenoblade 1 show up. And now finally we have, I'm blanking on the name because, oh no,
Kazuya.
Kazuya, thank you very much. Unfortunately,
Kazuya Mishima.
Thank you very much. Unfortunately, I don't have the name in front of me, and I'm not a huge Tekken fan. But yeah, Kazuya Mishima from...
I've got this covered.
Thank you, from the Tekken series. So all three of us, we were all betting on who was it going to be. We were thinking, is it going to be Master Chief? Is it going to be Doom Guy? Is it going to be Crash Bandicoot? Is it going to be another Fire Emblem character? But nope, again, the fans were completely off. And instead, at this point, I just want to give up on guessing which characters are going to show up in Smash Brothers. Because at this point, Nintendo's really good at just like throwing a curveball at everybody.
They actually do what Ryan Johnson fails, and that's subvert expectations.
Oh my god! So
am I wrong?
Just to explain, that betting pool, for those who don't quite get it, the reason why, because you're probably thinking, why Chief Doom Guy? It's like, a lot of that is based on, the dreaded rumors and speculation. I mean, Crash Bandicoot has been dropping hints on his Twitter about being included in Smash. Doom Guy, because everyone wants to see the Doom Isabella pairing, and me especially. the Master Chief one, I did kind of shake my head at it at first, but allegedly there's a lot of, like, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, kind of like, conversation between Nintendo and Microsoft, because there's rumors that, what's it called? The Xbox Pass? Is that what it's called? The online service thing they've got coming out.
I really don't know.
But literally, like, there's a rumor going around that's coming to the Nintendo Switch. Make of that what you will. And a part of me is wondering, does that mean we could play the original Halo on a Switch? And by extension, does that mean Chief's going to be in Smash? Like, can you imagine how fucking mind blowing that Smash Ultimate is the final game in the series, and the final DLC character is from a game that's not even on Nintendo?
Yeah.
Yeah,
wouldn't that be something to wrap up this whole franchise?
Yeah, that certainly would be a big twist. You can't deny that.
Yeah, but okay, who's gonna go first on Kazuya then?
Okay, how about, since you're probably the most knowledgeable person in terms of the Tekken franchise, would you like to explain to us who Kazuya is?
Well, Kazuya Mishima, I mean, a lot of people are saying, why isn't Heihachi Mishima, who is his father, why wasn't he like the character they chose? Well, it makes a lot of sense that Kazuya is the one they went, because he's kind of the quote unquote main character of the series, technically speaking, because although starting with Tekken 3, his son, Jin Kazama, kind of becomes the flagship character of the series. I mean, and also Heihachi was in the ill-fated PlayStation All-Stars, and you'd imagine Nintendo would like to not be associated with that.
Yeah, that is true.
I've been saying for a while that, we've got Ryu and Ken from Street Fighter, you got Terry from Fatal Fury, and Namco are working on this game. Why have we got any Tekken characters yet? And of all the characters they chose, I mean, I kind of stared at it first because I wanted Jin Kazama to be, because, that would have been perfect, but since Kazuya was there first, it makes perfect sense that he's the one they went with. Surprising as fuck to see him, because I just kind of stared at that. I was like, huh. Okay, let's just go with this then.
Okay, then. Well, let's moving on.
I mean, he does fit. I will say, like, even though I the only Tekken game I believe I've played was Tekken Resurrection on PSP, and I think maybe Tekken 5 just a little bit, but even still, I believe I may have played Tekken 3 or 4 in like an arcade like years ago with a friend a couple times, but I still understand that Tekken is another one of those franchises that's been around for a good long time, since like the PS1 era. Oh, that's right. I think I may have played the original Tekken on like my cousin's PS1 way back in the day. I remember I always used to play as King because I thought he looked like the coolest character, and he's Mexican.
I always play as Panda because Tekken 3 was the game that started my lifelong obsession with pandas. And because Panda is the best fucking character in the game, so.
Now it just makes you wish for Poe from Kung Fu Panda in it.
Maybe. But I mean, just to wrap up my thoughts on Kazuya's inclusion. I mean, the trailer was fucking hilarious. I mean, I love the fact they took one of the most serious moments from the series because it's a long tradition of Tekken where Heihachi and Jin are throwing each other off cliffs, and I love the fact they played that for laughs.
Right.
Ryu.
I saw that scene. I was like, this has to be referencing something very specific that only fans are gonna get. But even then, even as someone who didn't get the reference, it was still really funny. At first, it was like really serious and dark. It's like, oh shit, it's Ganondorf. Oh, who's fucking carrying him? Oh no, who threw him off? And then it just got ridiculous and silly. So it's like Nintendo really knows how to play both like to fans and to newcomers.
All that was missing from that trailer is he throws Bayonetta off the cliff and shouts, "And good riddance!"
That's right. You're not a fan at all.
I will. In my defense, I played the first game. I tried to like it, and I did not. And I'll leave it with that.
Very fair, my friend.
But there's also one thing I did learn recently is that the Tekken series creator Harada is actually, friends with Sakurai. And the part of me is wondering, like, if you two are like best buds, like, why did it take this long? Like, shouldn't when Namco started work on Smash with the Wii U and 3DS version, shouldn't like a Tekken character been in that game?
I guess maybe it might do a little bit of rights, perhaps.
That'd be like. Oh, sorry, go on.
I was about to say, just I think it might be rights or legal legalities that they need to handle first before they can bring that in there. Because I mean, getting a license for some of these characters, it's probably a lot of money. So,
also, I will say, like a side note, I believe I've shared this image already before, but it's so funny I still have to share it. We're finally going to get the reunion we've all been waiting for.
Oh yes, yes.
I think it was Will, aka Crookedlore, who shared this image with us. Apparently, Harada drew a recreation of the Smash Ultimate, like that shot where they're all on the cliff's edge, looking at the hands in the sky.
Yeah,
he's redrawn it, but it's Kazuya holding Ryu off the cliff. And apparently, he drew that, and I'm like, holy shit! I was not aware the guy could draw, but it's fucking well detailed, man. But I do like the fact that his best bud finally got his character in. But again, I wonder why it took so long. It'd be like if Crookedlore said, "Hey, I'm making a video game. Can I put Ryo or Maggie in it?" I'll go, "Yeah, but sequel number 4. I'm in no hurry." What?
Nani?
Oh wait, I think I found the exact drawing you're referring to. You just see Donkey Kong's face in the back.
You gotta share this.
Oh, I am. It's beautiful.
What I love about that image is Kazuya's holding Ryu off the cliff's edge, and he's whispering to him, and that's for Street Fighter Cross Tekken.
Look at Donkey Kong's face.
Oh no!
Oh no!
It's like this. It's like this is why we never agreed to a Tekken X Street Fighter after that.
Well, I mean, it is rumored they were working on it, but the legal speak was we couldn't agree, we couldn't get things settled in the end. I'm like, yeah, okay. Rough translation: Street Fighter Cross Tekken sold like ass.
Right, that sucked. That was a huge mistake.
I like how Mario's throwing a fireball. What good's that gonna do?
Right.
I just love that he's just holding him off the edge there. Brilliant.
But
look at Bowser's face. He's like, yes.
Oh yeah. He's like, The one name I keep blanking on is, what's the character from ARMS called? I can never remember her name.
I forgot too. Fuck.
I want to say Sun, but I know that's wrong.
Min, that's what it was.
That's it. Thank you.
Yeah,
I heard the bit like he throws her off the edge and like her arm.
Yes,
she's immediately like, I will save you.
It's like, get this trash out of it.
Yeah. What was it? I will say that the way characters move about.
What is Yoshi doing in that image? Yoshi's face. It's like, wow.
This got serious really quickly.
Wow.
But to talk about
Oh wait, look at Luigi and Pikachu.
That is sweet. Capcom's Captain Commando. Let's try that again. Captain Falcon's doing a little jig in the background.
Yes.
Yes.
But to talk about the
I
actual...
like how Kazuya is the most detailed character on that image. Not playing favorites or anything.
But to talk about the character himself in Smash, I was really impressed with how they were able to translate his moveset into the gameplay, because much like with how Ryu and Ken are played in Smash Brothers, they were able to replicate the Kazuya's the way Kazuya moves and able to like translate his sort of like combo based moveset into Smash Brothers, to where if you just look at, like, if you were to zoom in on the two characters, it would honestly look and feel like you were looking at some gameplay of like the next Tekken game for Switch.
I do like how when like the footage began, like it does the camera sort of like zoom, like sort of tilted into the shot as if it's sort of replicating how a Tekken match begins. The attention to detail was fucking amazing.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would say.
And I like how they even incorporate, because there's a similar because when Ryu showed up for Wii U and 3DS, they incorporated the "Here comes a new challenger," and I like how they incorporated the "Get ready for next battle" into Kazuya's entry quote.
Right. Or like if you remember when like Mega Man was originally announced for Smash 4, and they recreated the whole like boss intro theme from his games.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's one of the things I've always liked about Smash. It's just these little acknowledgements and tributes and shit. I mean, even with Sonic first show, I think it was, correct me if I'm wrong on this, but at the end of his trailer for the Brawl introduction, it was the first time he did this sort of no finger wave gesture in years. It's just how does Nintendo get your character better than the actual companies do?
Come on, Sega, step it up.
It's too slow, Andre. They're too slow, Andre.
If Sega had their way, and if things turned out differently, they would have had Boom Sonic in the new game, and all he would say is "bounce pad."
Oh no!
Oh,
I mean, flashbacks to PlayStation All Stars Battle Royale with Devil May Cry reboot Dante.
Oh.
Yeah. I stared at that and go, "You're just trying to piss people off now, aren't you?"
It'll be really funny.
I think Capcom knew. Yeah. I think they knew this was going to be bad, so they said, "Yeah, here, have the shit one." There you go.
It's really funny how like we ended up getting a decent amount of actual PlayStation All Stars in the Smash series with like Snake and Cloud. So it's going to be hilarious if down the line, Crash and Spyro ends up being in Smash.
But yeah, which is for me, like that was the guys I was betting on to be in this.
You know what? Throw in Kazuya, because that was a PlayStation series for a good long while.
That's true. They were basically their equivalent of Street Fighter for many years. Makes sense.
Yeah, it is true. I mean, it's funny how we haven't had another PlayStation All Stars since, though.
Right? They're like, no.
Although if the fateful day ever happens when Nintendo goes third party, Smash Brothers versus PlayStation All Stars is a guaranteed bet.
Yeah.
But let's hope that never happens.
Right.
Yeah.
So anything?
Because I think you got more chance of not to open a fresh, still healing wound, but you got more chance of Mega Man Legends 3 coming out.
Oh.
So
anything?
Or Metroid Prime 4.
So anything left to say about Kazuya's inclusion in Smash?
I'm very happy, and it's about fucking time they put a Tekken character in there.
I will say that, like, even as someone who's not all that into Tekken, I am extremely happy for Tekken fans like Random here, and I love the fact that Nintendo's their selection of characters is so wide and diverse that they managed to get something for everybody. I don't have to like or love every single character and every single franchise that these characters come from. I've got enough characters to leave me satisfied. There's over 70 to choose from at this point. So any new inclusion that comes in from a franchise, from a well-beloved franchise, just makes me all the more happier. And the fact that we do now have another classic staple, a fighting game franchise staple included into Smash Brothers makes me really happy And so now all that's left is when Mortal Kombat.
On the 28th of Never.
Yep. And
But that's why. Just to jump on to what Andrea said real quick, and I'll promise I'll shut up. It's just like it's why I don't get angry about a lot of certain announcements. It's why, even though I joke about it, I don't actually get angry about any of the Fire Emblem stuff because it's like I've already got my main, which is Mega Man, so I'm already happy. So because I've got my main, someone else is probably going to get theirs eventually. So more power to them.
And I've been happy with Bowser since Melee. So
I'm satisfied with Mewtwo, Rob the Robot, and Sonic. That's all I need.
I got to say, Andres, that kind of surprises me because I would have thought Samus would have been your main.
Really? Now, you're for a guy who calls himself Kaiju Noir, you're surprised I picked the big fucking monster?
Well, I mean, think about it. Your main series is about an armor-clad hero, and
That is true. I will say that because I suck at Smash, I enjoy Bowser the most because he's so heavy, so it takes more effort for my friends to kick me off the stage. So his weight makes up for my slow reflexes as a Smash player.
There's a joke here, and I can't get it off the top of my head.
He's perfect for a guy who sucks at fighting games like me, yet who loves playing them.
Yeah, if you want to learn how to play a game, choose the fat guy. But I guess because I didn't really say much when it comes to how Kazuya's inclusion in the game.
Right.
Sorry. Tekken's one of those games that I've been interested in playing. I've been interested in getting into it. It's just I haven't really had enough time to really get into it like a lot of other game series. But I am happy with his inclusion in the end because it does show that Nintendo is really opening up its variety in what characters we could possibly see in the future. And also to bring up the that wonderful image that Andra shared with us, there's another meme that I found of him with Kazuya exclusively with Pac-Man. And this one made me laugh.
Aww. If only I can read enough of this Japanese, but I can tell what's going on here.
Now I'm the mascot.
Yeah, I'm the mascot. Yeah, but in the end, I'm happy with his inclusion. It's a nice welcome. Again, not the character I was hoping, but you know what? It's a good surprise.
Mm-hmm. So I guess moving on, here's an announcement that got me really excited, and that is WarioWare Get It Together, which is the first WarioWare game we've had since WarioWare Smooth Moves on the Wii. And as someone who played a lot of WarioWare on the Game Boy Advance, the DS, and the Wii, I was really, really pleasantly surprised to see WarioWare make a grand return. And to see all the very interesting cast of characters all make a comeback. And surprisingly, they put an interesting twist on it where rather than just playing micro games, you're playing as characters. You get to control all these different characters within the micro games, performing the same actions in different ways. And I did forget, there was sort of a pseudo WarioWare game on the Wii U called Game & Wario. It was just like a glorified tech demo for the Wii U's gamepad, which was just like a bunch of recycled concepts that you may have seen from the original Wii U announcement trailer. Not much to say here personally, just that, oh, neat, it's another WarioWare game. And that's kind of like what a lot of the announcements come down to. They're a lot of like, oh, neat. So, Metroid and Smash Brothers were definitely like the big holy shit moments, while everything else is just like a lot of smaller, pleasant surprises, which to me I liked overall, as opposed to just having like it's nice having like a bunch of rapid fire announcements as opposed to what like say Square Enix did, where it's just like 16-minute long like presentations on like game after game, and only having like I don't know like 3 or 4 games to announce, and just spending a ridiculously long time on each announcement.
I think the fact they're making DLC for Marvel's Avengers shows you how short-sighted Square Enix really are.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, that game was fucking ass. I mean, like any other game, like any DLC you make for that game should just be an open-aired apology and a box of chocolates.
I mean, it goes really bad. Like, I never played the game, but I kept seeing the price go down here in Japan. So it's like it would be at like the equivalent of like $70, and then goes down within a month down to like $30. I was like, oh, new, mind you. I was like,
Tell you
oh
what,
no.
I'll tell you what, Andres.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Andres, I'll save you $30. This is Marvel's Avengers. Imagine the reboot Tomb Raider, but Lara has an even more punchable face, and Iron Man's in the background. There, I've just saved you $30.
Whew, thank you. I was on the edge of my seat wondering how it was. Let's see. So, anything you guys want to say about WarioWare Get It Together?
It gave me some.
Go on.
Oh, sorry. Continue.
All I was going to say was, I mean, I do like some of the older games, and it could make for a lot of fun during Christmas.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, I think that's the perfect way how to sum it up. I remember playing one of the original Wario games on the GameCube. Actually, it was WarioWare Inc. Mega Micro Games.
Oh yeah, that was the original one.
Yeah, and I had a lot of nostalgia and a lot of fun with it. Even though, again, I think that's just because of how my tastes are for gameplay in general. I'm more of a guy who prefers like stuff like, say, Wario World. If anyone remembers that game.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I love Wario World.
Yeah, I don't know why I would love to see like the Wario World gameplay, but with the lore and characters of the WarioWare Inc. Because I think that would be a nice combination. But what we're getting though, it's nice. It's a nice callback, nice nostalgia, and I might pick it up.
Okay. Let's see. Anyone else want to take the next announcement?
Ooh, mind if I take this next one, because I think this is probably the other big one with Nintendo. The next Legend of Zelda game, a sequel to Breath of the Wild.
Which we still don't have a title for.
Apparently, but I'm not even amazed that we're even getting a sequel to a Legend of Zelda game. That hasn't been seen in years.
True, yeah, we haven't had that since, like, I want to say Spirit Tracks on DS, and then before that, it was... it was the Majora's Mask on N64. And then prior to that was Zelda 2, The Adventures of Link, I want to say.
Yeah.
Four Swords get a sequel?
Four Swords had, I think, an expansion on the GameCube called Four Swords Adventure.
Yeah, that's as close as I think it got with that.
What about that one? I'm just, was that one for the... That one for the 3DS where Link could turn into like a shadow on the wall.
Oh yeah,
Isn't that a sequel to like Link?
Yeah,
that was a sequel to Link to the Past. You're right about that.
There we go.
But I guess like this is the first time we've had like a direct follow up to like the previous game.
Okay, I'm cool with that.
Which in that case, Majora's Mask was the only time they ever made a direct sequel to the previous game, the game they just made prior.
Yeah, and the only other game I could think of, but even then, this is more of going back to what Legend of Zelda has always been known for, where they do long-distance sequels, or at least they continue the timeline. For example, Twilight Princess is technically a sequel to Majora's Mask.
Or in this
Which,
case,
wrap your head around that, everybody.
And Wind Waker is technically a sequel to Ocarina of Time.
Oh right,
yeah. I have several. I still have questions about that to this day.
What were you gonna say, Random?
I was just saying, technically speaking, it is a sequel to Ocarina of Time.
Okay.
If you squint really hard and just nod your head in agreement with Nintendo.
Yeah, just smile and nod.
Smile and nod for their love for cartoon characters, even though it doesn't make sense with Zelda at all.
I will
agree with Nintendo, or Kazuya throws you off a cliff.
I will say that I was a bit disappointed that they didn't have much to show off for Zelda's I believe this was like an anniversary year for Zelda. Not sure if it was like 30th or 35th, because this is like right off the heels of the Super Mario Brothers 35th anniversary.
I believe it was 35th.
35th. Okay.
Yeah.
I always imagined that they came out like very close to each other on the NES. But I was expecting kind of more, but then again, like all they really had to offer was more of a preview for Breath of the Wild 2, as we'll probably call it, until we eventually get a title.
Breath of the Wild 2 Battle, how about that?
Breath of the Wild 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Or let's see, we had Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD. And what else? We had the Game & Watch edition, which kind of like similar to what they did with Mario. They had another Game & Watch special edition with the original NES Zelda, plus, I believe, Link's Adventure on the Game Boy, and Zelda 2, The Adventures of Link, and finally the, what was it? I think it's called it was the Whack-A-Mole Game & Watch game.
Yeah.
So that was.
Did they also show off DLC for Hyrule Warriors?
Yes.
Yes.
Not Hyrule Warriors, the sequel, Hyrule Warriors: Age of Calamity, which is a pseudo prequel to Breath of the Wild. I say pseudo
sure.
because the plot itself, spoiler alert, is non-canon.
Yeah. It's a prequel if you squint your eyes really hard and just nod your head and agree with things.
Yeah. So if you ever want to mow down a bunch of villains as Link on a fucking motorcycle, there you go.
Yes.
Yes.
I love it's the same motorcycle from his appearance in Mario Kart.
I will say I was kind of hoping for like an HD collection. Like I was honestly surprised that they did not port Twilight Princess HD nor Wind Waker HD from the Wii U onto the Switch. And I'm wondering, this could have been like they could have easily done that, or do what Super Monkey Ball did and just get a bunch of Zelda games together and have a Zelda collection a Zelda All-Stars collection akin to Super Mario 3D All-Stars collection.
Well, considering how that one turned out, it's probably for the best.
It's kind of funny because like Nintendo is always like really anal about re-releasing their older games beyond the like N64 and beyond. I feel like they're paranoid that if they release their games and make their games more available, that it would devalue the sort of like properties. So it's like, oh no, we gotta do what like Disney used to do with the Disney Vault, just release these games once every 10 or 20 years, and keep selling them at a ridiculously high price. Because if we make them available for anyone to get on any console, then we can't sell them for like $30-$40 like we usually do. We can't resell them for the same price that we did before. Like now, I feel like the NES and SNES games have like devalued significantly to the point where you can just slap a bunch of them together into a little mini console and sell it for $20-$30, and there you go. Yeah. And I guess they don't want that to happen for their N64, GameCube titles and beyond.
Yeah, which I guess kind of makes sense. Although it's funny that we mentioned about when it comes to Legend of Zelda with timelines, is that I still think it's funny that after all these years later, they never decided to revisit the original Fallen timeline of Legend of Zelda.
Which one is that?
That is the original. That's for the original NES games. The original Legend of Zelda and Adventures of Link. They have never revisited it since, I want to say, the Game Boy days. Even then, that's kind of debatable.
Huh. All right. I guess unless either you guys have anything to say on their Zelda announcements.
No, go ahead, Random.
All right. I'm not exactly the biggest Zelda fan. Like, the only one I truly love is Wind Waker because, well, then again, this was the first one I ever played, so of course I'm going to say that. But like, I haven't played Breath of the Wild. Send me to the gallows at once. But it's like, I saw the announcement, said, that looks neat, I guess. I mean, Grace is probably going to go play it, but I might watch her play it. But I'm not in no rush to go out and get it myself. It's
all right. It's honestly like this was the first Zelda game I ever really got into. Beyond, I played a little bit of Wind Waker. I played Ocarina on 3DS, and this was like the first one like console game I'd say. Like again, being the Switch, this was like the time for me to really get into franchises I've always wanted to get into, and Breath of the Wild was one of them through Breath of the Wild. So I had a blast playing this game personally. So I would recommend it to anyone who ever had an interest in Zelda.
I guess me being here, I'm more of the casual Legend of Zelda fan because I got into it back then with Twilight Princess, and I really love I really love the world and characters, and it really drew me into the other games. I played a little bit of the original NES games. I've played Of course, I've played Ocarina of Time. I love Majora's Mask. That one's easily my favorite of the Legend of Zelda series. And I've even played some of the other games. I've played Breath of the Wild, which I definitely enjoyed. Not fully. I still need to buy the whole game, but I definitely liked what I saw. Skyward Sword was I liked it. Wind Waker can go fuck itself. And
Can't throw him off a cliff.
Yeah. I'll be the one throwing you off the cliff. You reminded me of that. But
oh my.
Oh my. But no, with this announcement of the new games, I'm kind of interested if they make any updates with Skyward Sword. And as for Breath of the Wild 2, I guess we'll call it at this point, it's again kind of surprising that we're even
Breath
getting
of the Wild Triforce Boogaloo.
Triforce Boogaloo, that's better. With Triforce Boogaloo, it's amazing that we're even getting it in the first place. But what we did see from the gameplay, it looks like they're going to be adding a bit more to the formula. So yeah, I welcome it, and I'm looking forward to it.
I will say that Hyrule Castle just can't seem to get a break in the Hyrule in the Calamity continuity.
Yeah.
It's like poetry. It all rhymes. It carries elements over from the previous century. Hopefully it'll all work out.
Let's see. So I guess there were 2 more collections that were announced. There was 3 more actually. No, 4 collections? No, 5 collections. So we had Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2, Danganronpa Decadence, Life is Strange Remastered Collection, and Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania. And among these... Yeah, go ahead.
Forgot one. The Legend of Zelda 35th Anniversary Collection.
Wait, did they announce a collection beyond the Game & Watch deal?
Hang on. Let me make sure that it wasn't the Game & Watch itself.
Yeah, I never saw that.
No, you're right. It was the Game & Watch one. Never mind.
Because I don't recall seeing that.
We just talked about how they didn't announce one.
Oh, no. Actually, I know why, too, and this is hilarious, the way they pronounce it. They put, I think it's E3. No, here we go. There was an... IGN currently has this Legend of Zelda 30th Anniversary and Game & Watch announcement trailer. Oh, god damn it. Who the fuck
titles it that way?
We just admit IGN was never good to begin with.
But the one I did forget to mention was Advance Wars 1 and 2 Reboot Camp.
That was it,
yeah.
So the 2 that I'm very interested in is Advance Wars 1 and 2 and Super Monkey Ball Mania. Both are franchises that, like a lot of this, like you probably, I'm a broken record at this point. These are franchises that I've heard a lot about for so many years since high school, since like junior high and high school. And so this gives me the chance to finally check out these games for the first time ever. The only Super Monkey Ball game I ever played was Banana Blitz on the Wii. And I know people usually tend to consider that as like one of the worst ones. And this is a collection of Super Monkey Ball 1, 2, and Deluxe. Not so much like a collection, but rather it apparently is its own game with 300 levels from Super Monkey Ball 1, 2, and Deluxe. And let's see. And with Advance Wars, this is like a full-blown remake as opposed to a remaster of Advance Wars 1 and 2. I remember my friends in high school played this all the time on their DS and Game Boy Advances. And having just gotten into Super Robot Wars, which is another grid-style turn-based strategy RPG game, I've gotten like a real interest in this type of this type of genre. So I would like to check out Advance Wars 1+2 and see what the fuss is all about. So with any of these sort of collections, do any of them like pique your interest, guys?
I mean, I probably would like to get the Monkey Ball collection because I remember playing the original on the GameCube and that was a lot of fun. All I ask is please don't incorporate like tilt controls or gyro controls. Just let me use the thumbstick, please.
Knowing how a lot of these Switch games have been, if there are any gyro controls, it'll most likely be purely optional. Because, like, honestly, I don't think hardly anyone has ever utilized the motion controls on the Switch.
Yeah, I guess to repeat what Random was saying, Super Monkey Ball. mainly because as a Sega fan for many years, I've been meaning to check out the other IPs, and Super Monkey Ball was on that list. So, hey, good chance now to finally check out this series.
Now, when are we going to get our Billy Hatcher HD remaster?
I'm waiting for my remastering of Vector Man. When's that coming out?
I'm still waiting for a port of the Virtual On Cyber Troopers collection that Japan has. Or at the very least,
why must you hurt me?
Or at the very least, fucking translate that last one you had on the PS4. Damn it! I don't care if it's a crossover with a visual novel series that I never heard of, nor will I ever care to check out. Just send it over.
The sad thing is, I can't even
get over here.
Sad thing is, I can't even quote my go-to joke anymore because they're actually remaking House of the Dead 1. So it's like I can't even use that joke. It's like, oh yeah, although I could say, where the fuck was that at E3? I wanted some more details on that Nintendo and Sega.
Right.
Yeah.
Not to mention no news on Sonic Rangers.
Well, that's not surprising.
Considering they showed us Bugger and all for it.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Next up, we got ourselves 3 Mario games, all of which being spin-offs. We had Mario Golf Super Rush, which was, I believe, announced the previous year. A sequel to Mario and Rabbids, this time titled Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope. And finally, they announced a sequel to Super Mario Party on the Switch, this time Mario Party Superstars. This is the one that interests me the most because I loved Super Mario Party back on the GameCube days.
The apocalypse that is Mario Party.
the ruiner of friendships.
It really is.
Speaking as someone who has witnessed a friend literally beat the shit out of another friend over Mario Party, I can test it. And if they are listening to this podcast, you know who you are.
So what has me excited about Mario Party Superstars is that it's essentially... Do you guys remember when they put out Mario Party, like the top 100 on 3DS? Where it was like a collection of the...
I don't think so, no.
Okay, so Mario Party the Top 100 was a collection of of mini games from the last 10 Mario Party games. However, it was just the mini games, no board game action at all. It was Mario without the party.
Oh, screw that.
So Mario Party Superstars is what Mario Party the Top 100 should have been, and actually let you play Mario Party with all these games going all the way back to the originals N64 titles. So I definitely want to pick this one up. I haven't owned a Mario Party game since like Mario Party 8, I think, on the Wii.
Ooh, I think the last Mario Party game I had was Mario Party 5 on the GameCube.
8 and 6, those 8, 6, and 2 were the ones that I played the most out of growing up.
Yeah, I guess just because I grew up with them since the N64 games, I played the very first 3 Mario Party games and loved the hell out of them. Those were really fun games.
Neat.
Even if there was a lot of frustration and people beating the shit out of each other for certain times you were playing.
But isn't that just like a normal day in New York, Ace?
True, but Mario Party brings out the worst in you, the New Yorker in you.
Slightly more worse.
Slightly more worse. If you squint hard enough, it's worse.
Let's see. As for Mario and Rabbids, I could care less. I'm just sad that we still haven't gotten
trash.
Trash. I'm sure it's a great game. Apparently, the first one was good. I just have no interest. But I'm just more disappointed that we still haven't gotten a new Rayman game since Rayman Legends.
Same.
We still can't get a proper Mario and Sonic platformer, yet this was okay for Nintendo.
Double standards.
And Mario Golf, I barely played any of the Mario games. I mean, if they brought back Mario Strikers, I'd probably play that because I love the look of those games.
Yeah, agreed.
This is not exactly Mario or Nintendo's fault, but I've never understood the whole point of making a game based on a sport you and your friends could just go down the park and play. You know what I mean? I've never
I never got sports games in general. I've always thought
except for like Formula One, wrestling, and what have you. I get why games of those exist. but like it's like, oh, it's a football game. Or here's a better idea. Why don't we get the ball and go for a kickabout down the
But
park?
we have to go outside. We got to use our hands, and it's hot and it's sweaty. I don't want to do that. It's too much work.
I do like being outside, Smithers. For one thing, there's too many fat children.
Too many mini Brimleys.
Oh, that's sad because the man's dead.
Diabetes.
See, diabetes is the key to all this. Hopefully, it all works.
Damn it, George!
Get out of here!
Get out! Do it now!
Get out! Do it now!
All right. Any of you guys have anything to say about these Mario spin-off titles?
I don't give a fuck about any of them except for Mario Party. Moving on.
I'm probably gonna pass. I'm gonna pass because not my thing.
Party pooper. No, I'm just kidding.
Every party needs a pooper. That's why they invited you. Party pooper. Party pooper. It's like poetry. Why are you still here?
See, because you said that, all I can hear is Jim Carrey in my head going, "Lovely party." Pity I wasn't invited. But enough about Crash Bandicoot not being in Smash.
Aww.
Lovely party. Pity I wasn't invited.
Any other?
I will watch that film again at some point.
Me too.
Yeah.
Any other announcements from Nintendo you guys want to talk about? Because everything else, couldn't really care less of. I guess there is Monster Hunter Stories 2. I've been playing Monster Hunter's Rise recently. I've been really enjoying it, a lot out of it. But with Monster Hunter Stories 2, it looks to be a spin-off series that's like a turn-based RPG where you can also raise a monster of your very own, like a Pokemon or like Dragon Quest. And it's got like a very anime aesthetic to it as opposed to the more realistic style of the mainstream Monster Hunter games. So probably going to pass on this because I still have Rise to play. That's all I got to say on it. Looks nice.
Yeah, there's not really much I could say about when it comes to Nintendo other than that. Even with the other outside of that, there is nothing really to talk about. The only other announcement from E3 that I cared about, even then this is debatable, was the new Final Fantasy VII side game, Intergrade, which, for me, the only reason I say that is because it's a nice way to hold me over until part 2 comes out for it.
Whenever that is.
Whenever that is. But it's something, playing as different characters, from that series, because out of all the Final Fantasy games, I'm not the biggest fan, but I've always been a huge fan of 7. I've always loved the world and characters, and getting the chance to check out more of them, especially since we're playing as Yuffie, that's not, it's nice to play as different characters, and it's better than nothing.
Yeah, and I know as someone who has played and beaten a couple months ago, I've beaten the Final Fantasy VII remake. Fucking love the shit out of it.
Yes.
I'm mostly okay on the ending. It didn't bother me as much, but I do see why a lot of people were upset about it. But I'm really excited to see what comes out of that. Same.
Game.
I mean, I played it. I mean, I haven't. I mean, for context, I didn't play the original FF7, so everyone's going, "Oh, the ending is." I'm just sitting there going, "Oh, that was okay."
Sure. Yeah.
I had the most chill reaction to that ending. I just sat there going, "Oh, it's a guy with a sword. Looks neat."
I was just gonna be like, my reaction was, "Huh."
Yeah, my initial reaction was okay. Fine. So when are we gonna get some killing?
What are we gonna do?
Well, that was fun. Who's the Chinese?
When are we gonna see the scene that everyone still cries about to this very day?
But that's the thing, though. Maybe we won't get that scene, and that's what has fans upset.
To be fair, I mean, I think even at this point, Square Enix is gonna be like, we're only subverting your expectations.
Just
you guys probably
once.
know. You just this once. But even then, it's the one they're going to be like, yeah, we kind of fucking knew this already.
Yes. All right. So I guess, for you, Random, any other announcements from the E3 press conference that you would like to comment on?
Oh, Nintendo's. Let me see. I mean, I am kind of sad we didn't get any more information on the House of the Dead remake because I was hoping that E3 would show some more of that off because it is a game I'm really excited for this year. But apart from all that, I mean, Kazuya was a fantastic reveal. Did not expect Metroid Dread, but I'll take it. Would have liked to have had some more details on Prime 4. I mean, just even a blurry screenshot would be nice at this point. But yeah, that's about it. I mean, Dread and Kazuya being the only things I cared about, to be honest with you.
Okay. So the next thing I want to bring up was the Japanese Nintendo E3 Direct, which ran concurrently at the exact same time as the English language Direct presentation. And it's pretty much like it was also 40 minutes long. It was, all the main announcements were exactly the same. Another, I'm blanking on his name again. Goddamn,
Kazuya.
Kazuya. I was gonna say Kaguya, but no, Kazuya. Thank you very much.
Kaguya. That's from Inuyasha. What are you talking about?
No. The original Kaguya, good sir, is the Moon Princess from Japanese Shinto
you're talking
mythology.
About Princess Kaguya.
Yes.
And because of that, Kazuya goes and gets a forklift and drops Draco Azul off a cliff.
Damn it.
He looks at Draco and goes, "Oh, that's a big one. I'm gonna need a forklift for that."
That's a huge bitch.
We're gonna need a bigger boat.
So they had the Kazuya reveal. They had the Metroid Dread reveal, the Mario spin-offs. They ended things off with all the Zelda announcements. The only real difference is whenever they were doing those rapid fire announcements, that's when they had a different selection of third-party games. A couple of them were like based off of Japanese only series that people wouldn't really care about, like Crayon Shin-chan or Power. What was it called? Like I think it was like Power-kun Pocket R. It was like a baseball game with like a cartoony mascot character. Let's see. They had games like Ender Lilies, Caligula 2, Legends of Mana, Samurai War.
Wait, Caligula?
There's apparently a Japanese. There's apparently a Japanese video game series called Caligula.
Okay, because yes, I need to be reminded of the 1979 film. Sure, why not?
There's a Samurai Warrior 5. A visual novel romance simulator game called Girl Side Fourth Heart. Some game called Worth Life. Let's see, Espeguloa 2.
For some reason, I just heard you say Word Life. I was like, oh god,
no,
John Cena a video game.
Wait, I did the Doctor of Thugonomics.
Worth Life.
It's a basic thugonomics.
The one
we can't see him. Just to drive this joke even further into the gang, we can't see John Cena because Kazuya's thrown him off a cliff.
So there's two announcements.
Although when he tried to throw Ree off the cliff, she grabbed him by the dick and pulled him down with her.
Oh.
If I'm going, you're coming with me, boy.
So there's two announcements from the Japanese release that had me really curious or really excited. One was The World Ends With You 2, or I guess it's called Neo, The World Ends With You, which was a sequel to the popular DS game, which was also ported to Switch. I have the game on Switch, but I've yet to actually get the time to get around to playing it. But I do love the style, and I did play it on DS back in the day. And this game, however, instead of being like sprite based, it's going to be a 3D real time hack and slash game akin to like Kingdom Hearts. So I'm really curious to see how that is going to go along. The weird thing is, I'm surprised that Neo, I'm just going to call it The World Ends With You 2. I'm surprised the World Ends With You 2 did not get included in the American or in the English presentation, given that it's already confirmed for an American release. Rather, it was exclusive to this release. Another one that was also announced was, I think it was called Great Ace Attorney Adventures, which was like a spin-off series of Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. I think it was like a prequel series. And there were two games on like the 3DS, I think, and both of them are being sold together in a collection in both Japan and the West. And again, this is another title that's strangely only in the Japanese Direct, not the English one.
That might be because Capcom already showed it off at their presentation.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see now.
So it might just seem redundant, it might just seem redundant to show off, like, here's something you already know. Please take a look.
Which is weird because Nintendo also included the cloud version of the Guardians of the Galaxy game that was already covered in the Square Enix presentation.
Well, Square Enix begged to have more exposure for their stuff.
True, yeah. And the one game that has me the most excited was the announcement of Super Robot Wars 30, which was the game, the latest in a long series of turn-based strategy RPG games featuring a plethora of giant robot characters from giant robot mecha anime and manga from going all the way back to like the days of Mazinger Z and Getter Robo and Gundam back in the 70s. And it seems like this game is pretty much it seems to be exactly like presentation wise. It's still sprite based, 2D, amazing, beautiful sprite animations. Some of them do seem to be recycled from the previous game, Super Robot Wars T. But I'm still really excited for a new Super Robot Wars games because I can't get enough out of that series. And I'm really glad that I was able to get get my hands on the last couple edition releases since they started making the official English versions available in the Asia region. The reason why these games have never come to 3 of these games have come to the West on the Game Boy Advance and DS. The only reason why is because those games featured completely original robots, no characters at all from any anime or manga, because to have these series come to America would be a licensing nightmare, because each American Western company has the distribution rights to all these different franchises. So
and to that I still say imports.
yeah, pretty much. If you want to ever try out Super Robot Wars, you can either download them on Steam, which I believe the English version is available there. You could go on the Nintendo Switch. If you create a Japanese Nintendo Switch account, you can go onto the Nintendo Switch store and get some of the more recent editions that include the English language version. Or you can go the easier route, and if you want to physically own these games, you can go and over on, what's it called, playasia.com, and yes, as A said, import the games online.
I've been meaning to play those games so much, and
I would recommend I was going to say I would recommend starting with Super Robot Wars T. Yeah, which is available on Switch.
Yeah, because I was always very curious as a fellow giant robot fan. The idea of seeing all of these mechs and super robots in one game is it's a wet dream, basically.
Oh yeah, there is nothing but pure fan service.
Oh my.
Gameplay wise, it's very basic by the numbers turn-based strategy RPG stuff, but the real joy fans get from the series are just mainly just playing as these characters and seeing them interact with one another in these original storylines, even if they are really convoluted in how they try to mash all these continuities into one.
Exactly. I mean, I don't know why it's always been a weird
series
thing
that added the Megazord to it.
Oh, so they never add in the main series. They never added any live action robots. However, in the mobile game, Super Robot Wars Cross Omega, they did add both Jew Ranger and Gokaiger. They added 2 Sentai teams in there. So yes, technically you can play as the Megazord in the mobile game, which is unfortunately now defunct. As of earlier this year. Ooh,
yeah.
Also, Godzilla and Mechagodzilla were guest characters in the mobile game as well.
Yeah, all of which do make sense when considering that, Super
I forgot. Mega Man was made a guest character in the mobile game as well.
Wait, what?
Yes, except it's not Mega Man as you think he would be. You just see the 8-bit sprite of Mega Man while everyone else is a 3D model.
That's
I'm
genius.
fucking looking this up now.
Yeah.
That's genius.
Look up just put in Super Robot Wars Mega Man.
All right, let me see what we got here.
Gonna have to cut this part out.
Oh, I see it.
Oh, don't you dare cut this part out. I'm keeping this in there. Oh my god.
I'm gonna post
That's funny as hell.
I'm gonna post the link right here.
Oh god, that's wonderful.
And I believe yes. Oh my god, they included so many Mega Man characters in the mobile game.
They incorporated Bass, they incorporated Proto Man. Although, you want to know one thing that would have been really clever, Andres?
What?
They put the NES cover Mega Man in.
Oh.
Oh, bad box art. Oh god.
So yeah, you can skip ahead on that video as
Funny,
well
yeah.
to the. It's sort of like I think it's akin to the gameplay wise. The mobile game is something akin to like Plants vs Zombies, where you're like defending a base from a bunch of enemies slowly coming
okay.
towards you. Yeah, I played
Fun.
I played it for like a year or two and managed to get a lot of my favorite robots. So including the Wing Zero custom. So from Endless Waltz. So it was a fun little decent game. Unfortunately, I couldn't because I can only download it on my Japanese phone because it has access to the Japanese app store. But it was like an old used secondhand phone of mine, so it got to the point where it was like, sorry, we cannot play the latest edition, the latest version, updated version of this game anymore. I was like, damn it.
That's depressing.
Yeah, but there you go, Super Robot Wars. It's got in terms of if you want to know something even crazier, the last game, Super Robot Wars T, had Cowboy Bebop in it.
Wait, what?
Yes.
Well, I guess we're more incentive to want to check out Cowboy Bebop then.
Yeah, you'll never know who's going to show up in Super Robot Wars. And hey, with the mobile game, I really love for some of those more crazier guest characters to actually make legit appearances in the mainline series. But yeah, that's all I got to say about Super Robot Wars. I mean, about Super Robot Wars 30 and pretty much just E3 as a whole. Oh, wait. There's also Gigabash. From the PC announcement, from the PC presentation, they announced the trailer for Gigabash, which was a game that's been in development for at least like the last year or two. And it's essentially like a top-down brawler fighting game that's like, I would say, a mixture of like the old Atari Pipeworks Godzilla trilogy, a little bit of Power Stone, a little bit of War of the Monsters on PS2. And as a giant monster fan, this looks like it was made for me, so I can't wait for this to eventually come out.
Same. I'm definitely looking forward to Gigabash. It's not, again, going back to just my personal preference.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I probably would enjoy it as much as, say, why am I blanking out on the game already? The game on PS2.
War of the Monsters?
War of the Monsters, thank you. I don't think I'm probably going to enjoy it to that degree, but again, mainly just because I'm not the biggest Overhead fan. But again, it looks very much like something that you and I would definitely enjoy, Andres.
For sure.
And we definitely know that it looks a lot better than Colossal Kaiju Combat. That's for sure.
Well, then again, a lot of things are better than CKC.
Yeah. Yeah, this almost looks like the Colossal Kaiju Combat we wished that we got. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it looks a lot of fun. I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Well, it's not as if we're going to get a Power Stone 3 anytime soon, so...
Yep. Or a or a decent Godzilla game that wasn't just a cash-in mobile, thing. The last announcement I also wanted to bring up, this one was something I showed right before we recorded, and that was from the limited run limited run games presentation, where at the very end, I guess for those who don't know who limited run games are, they are a company that specializes in creating physical and digital edition they specialize in physical distribution of indie titles and licensed games. And at the end of their announcement, they made the announcement that they were going to make a physical and digital release of the one and only Plumbers Don't Wear Ties, the classic dating simulator
3DO.
From the 3DO. Yes, okay. So I'm pretty sure everyone here, the only reason why anyone even knows that title is solely because of the Angry Video Game Nerd.
Yeah. I almost feel like this was them intentionally watching that review and wanted to troll the shit out of James Rolfe. I feel like that's the only reason we're even getting this.
I just wanted like that one guy from what was it? BlizzCon, the BlizzCon guy to come up is like, is this a belated April Fool's Day joke? But I can only imagine what this game is, if they're gonna bother remastering this game at all. If there's anything to
I hope
remaster,
they don't. I hope it's exactly the game that we got.
it's gonna be like pixelated and blurry as shit on everyone's HD and 4K TVs and PC monitors.
Yes.
It would all be worth it if they actually replaced the still images with actual video.
Imagine like
Yeah.
Imagine, I'm pretty sure they never recorded any video back in the day. So imagine if they actually got all the actors all the actors back, and they're like older, and it's like probably not going to be as appealing. Well, I will
Or just
say,
recast it.
true, yeah. Although I will say that actress who showed up, they did a whole little gag where it's like she's like on like a Skype or Zoom call and she couldn't speak because of like some internet connection, and then she just said plumbers don't wear ties just to get that what the fuck moment out of everyone.
Yeah.
But I will say she's aged quite nicely in the years since.
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah.
It'd be hilarious if people stop drawing porn of Lady Dimitrescu and the Samsung assist girl and they start doing plumbers don't wear ties bullshit.
Wow.
Except that would actually make sense considering that is basically porn.
It's funny, like you just see the guy from that game yelling at Lady D and the Samsung assist girl, and he just screams at them, "Take your damn clothes off!"
Oh god, if that becomes a meme as a result of limited run games, I'd be happy. Oh boy. So
oh wait, hang on. It's just gonna be actually bring up another one.
Yeah.
It's just gonna be like the scene from Jennifer's Body with the actor of Patrick Starr. That will be your boss.
So we've been at this for an hour and 40 minutes now. So, is there anything left to say about E3? As are there any other miscellaneous announcements that from E3, whether it be Nintendo or elsewhere, that you guys would like to bring up?
Not that anything's coming to mind. It's just all anything I lament about E3 this year is we didn't get any more information about the House of the Dead remake, because at this point I just want a release date. Like, when is that shit coming out?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And for you, Ace?
No, nothing really else to discuss about. Any other game-related news would just be stuff that came out already. So, yeah.
I guess like after that they announced. Oh wait, I think did I already talk about Pokemon Unite?
Yeah, you did.
Okay,
yeah.
The one for the Tencent game, MOBA, League of Legends, yeah. All right then. So, final thoughts on this year's all digital E3?
That's it.
It was all made with computers. That makes me very happy.
So, any thoughts as to the potential future of E3 going forward? Do you think this may become the new norm, where just everybody pulls out a Nintendo Direct, pulls a Nintendo Direct, or do you think that we may go back to the whole in-person, physical, on-stage presentations?
I know. I think they're still going to go back to the on-screen, not on-screen, but like
On-stage.
in-person present. Yeah, on-stage presentations, because remember, there's also some licensing fees that they have to pay for when it comes to buildings, and you know for a fact and some of them actually are like years. That would be like a couple of years before they even go to that certain building again. So yeah, I'm pretty sure they probably got still some fees left to take care of.
And also because a lot of E3 is like they have the on-floor presentation, so it's kind of like they need people to come and play this stuff as well.
Yeah. Just as long as they don't pull a what was it, like I think it was called the PlayStation Experience, where like Sony attempted their own E3 that was like solely PlayStation, but they barely had anything for people to play, and for the presentations they had everyone like constantly moving from theater room to theater room. Like my friend Laura had like a whole story she could tell you about soon. So,
oh boy.
But yeah, so would you guys prefer this style or the traditional style of E3s going forward?
Maybe how about a combination of both? You have one that's like a streaming type service where it shows you everything that's going on, and also give us like all the footage for each of the trailers. But you still get the live experience, because in the end, that's one of the things a lot of people really enjoy about E3. Going there and playing these new games and giving opinions.
Mm-hmm.
and it helps out a lot of the creators in the end, because then they could take those critiques and maybe it may lead to a delay, but it's a delay with with the best of reasons.
All right, and
I think it should go back. I think it should go back to the old format, because it's just like, leave this live streaming shit to Nintendo. They're the experts at it.
Yeah.
Or at least maybe.
Yeah, I kind of miss the E3 cringe of, as I joked about it at the start, where like Ubisoft come out on stage and let us tell you all how lovely and wonderful we are, even though we hire mostly white people. But are we lovely and wonderful? And then Nintendo by the end just go, well, time to go save E3 again.
I'm pretty sure Nintendo learned their lesson from, what was it? I think it was E3 2008, where they ended the whole presentation conference on a fucking horrible demonstration of Wii music.
Oh god.
Oh yeah. Ow. Ooh, that hurt.
They were like, blong, blong. That's we just do like a bad acapella of Mario Brothers to end this E3 podcast. Damn it, George! What the fuck?
George, get out of here!
Get out of here! So, thank you very much, everybody, for joining us for the last roughly 2 hours of us just talking video game nonsense. So, where can people find you, Random?
They can find me, same addresses as last time, because I'm a lazy whore. But I'm joking. I'm extremely lazy whore. But at this point, I'm mainly writing my new series, Chronicles of the Abyss. I'm still working on Winnie. Thanks for the mention of it earlier. It's just I'm taking a small break because I feel like I've worn the characters out, and I've been doing it since about 2012. So I think the characters are long overdue a bit of a break. I'm mainly working on commissions at the moment. Shameless plug, but
hey, there's nothing shameless about plugging when it comes to my channel, good sir.
Very well. But yeah, mainly it's those two series I'm working on. I'm also going to start working on Percy once again. It's just finding the time and the motivation to get some of this done, because it's just like, oh yeah, I'll make multiple series. I'm not going to regret this decision. Cry self to sleep. But yeah, sorry. But basically, the usual addresses, and I do commissions because I'm a shameless whore.
All right then. And where can people find you, Ace?
Well, one, they can find me in the deepest pits of hell. And the second one is that they can find me on my Facebook page, Ace Marrok, director and writer, where not really much action going on, but currently I'm in the works for a couple of film projects and a couple of comic book and manga projects, some of which being collaborations that I will be working on with other individuals that you have seen on this channel. Mm-hmm. And also, also some novel works in the future, including collaboration with Kaiju Noir here. And let's see. Oh, and also my art page of Art of Marrok, where I sometimes here and there post sketches and drawings. And again, admittedly, I need to focus more on that for the future occasions. I really need to get back into drawing. But yeah, that's all I got for plugins.
All right, and of course you can check out the Kaiju Noir channel for various reviews and podcasts on all sorts of media, be it film, television, comics, video games, what have you. And you can follow me on Instagram, where I post art related to the YouTube channel, as well as my indie comic book series. Speaking of which, you can follow my indie comic series on Facebook at Primal Warrior Draco Azul, and you can find said indie comic available in physical and digital editions on Amazon, Kindle, and Comixology. You can also find if you're interested in more giant robot awesomeness, you can also check out my novel-length anthology book, Primal Warrior Draco Azul, Full Metal Chronicles, also available in paperback and Kindle on Amazon. So thank you very much, everybody, for joining us. I have been Andres Perez, aka Kaiju Noir.
I have been Ace Marrok.
I have been George Lucas, and plumbers do in fact wear ties. All I have to say to Jar Jar
George, get out of here!
All I want to say to Jar Jar is, take your damn clothes off.
He has been Random.
I have? Oh, shit.
And until next time, everybody, take care.
Good night and get away. Do it now. Do it. I'll kill you. Then Kazuya throws us off a cliff.